3, go, go.
What's up, what's up? What's up, what's up? What's up in Marin? What's up around the world? What's up lifestyle show for boys and girls? Life in high school, learning and growing up. Everybody get ready, find out what's up, what's up? What's up, what's up?
And this evening, we are very fortunate to have Holly Pedersen from the Parents' Place. Holly is an expert in the area of child abuse, trauma, domestic violence, violence prevention, conflict resolution, and bullying prevention, and has developed programs to address the issue of bullying, particularly working in inner city schools in Southern California. And we're fortunate that Holly has come up to Northern California, where she is happy to be here for the last year and a half or so, right? So we're very lucky to have her here today.
Thank you. I am really happy to see so many of you here today. So relational bullying, or you'll probably hear me refer to it throughout this presentation as relational aggression. And it's a type of bullying that we see happening as more and more as kids get older, as we'll be talking about. So it's different than the physical bullying, the kind of what you think about when you think about a bully. And what I'm going to do today is really give you a strong understanding of what relational aggression or relational bullying is. We'll start with that, because without knowing what it is, we don't know how to stop it or prevent it. And then at the end, we'll talk about some specific strategies that you can use if your child is being impacted by relational aggression, or even is using relational aggression. It's not uncommon for kids to be in both, have both experiences. Really important that you develop positive relationships with the adults in your kids' lives, including their teachers, because if there's a problem at school and you need that teacher's help to intervene, you don't want to be calling that teacher for the first time ever saying, hey, I need your help here, or hey, you screwed up with this and I want to talk to you about it. You want to have that relationship already established so that you can mobilize those adults, use them to build support around your child. So definitely build strong relationships with your teachers and your the coaches of your kids' teams. Mentoring is one of the most effective ways to deal with relational aggression, and it doesn't have to be some big formal thing that happens. So if your child is being bullied, is the target of relational aggression, who in your child's life can you link to that's maybe just a few years older? Is there a cousin? Is there a member of your church or synagogue? Is there a neighbor? Does your friend have an older son or daughter? And can they spend some time with your child? And it doesn't have to be spend time with Johnny and tell him that everything's okay. No, just like, hey, go out and throw a ball around, or go out and get yogurt together. That has so much more impact sometimes than us intervening. And as I mentioned, kids talk to peers, and someone who's a couple years older is probably out of the fray a little bit and is still a peer. And so find a way to connect your child to a child who's a little bit older but has moved beyond this difficult stage. Okay, so mentors. Again, whether it's an adult mentor or a peer mentor, it's just really to help your child have a sense of connection with someone so they feel less alone. Schools need to have anti-bullying policies and reporting procedures in place that include relational aggression. So relational aggression needs to be called out as a form of bullying. So who here knows their school's anti-bullying policy? Okay, Yay, one person. So that's important. And I'm sure your school has a school safety plan in place and either has an anti-bullying policy or is developing one. And so that's an important conversation to have with the administrators, because that helps you also. You need to get the school involved if this is impacting school performance, comfort level, safety level at school. So if this is happening at school, absolutely, but even if this is happening off-site but is impacting your child's performance or ability to concentrate or ability to feel safe, it's important that you involve the school. It also gives you some additional support. So the school, the teachers, the counselor, the principal can really hopefully help you come up with a solution, come up with a plan for addressing the problem. And so yes, they're effective. So it depends. There are a couple of different factors that make them effective. One is that it needs to be a school-wide approach, so not just one classroom that teaches something, but a culture at the school community level is created that promotes acceptance and respect and kindness. And if you want to look at some of the research, let me know afterwards, and I can give you the name of the kind of the top bullying prevention program in the world. Actually, it's coming out of Sweden. It has really strong research behind it. Increased monitoring in hotspots and cooperative learning. And I'm moving really quickly because we're running out of time. So classrooms that have a cooperative learning environment, so where kids are brought together from different groups and are taught and are tasked with the goal of cooperating for a shared goal, those classrooms, those schools have less aggressive behavior and bullying. So a cooperative learning environment is key to preventing and intervening in bullying. And a school culture that praises and reinforces kindness, connection, respect, a culture of caring or a culture of respect. So again, that school-wide culture needs to be in place, and there are lots of different ways to do that. There's curriculum that can do that. There's also activities that can happen. It needs to be very integrated, though, into the school culture. So in the moment, what to do, your child comes to you and reports something and it's horrifying and you're really angry and you're like, "Argh." Number one, you have to remain calm, because if you're freaking out, your child's going to freak out. So remain calm. You want to ask questions. You want to try to get the facts as much as possible. You're going to validate feelings. So rather than jumping in and saying, okay, I'm going to fix this, I'm going to call up that other parent, I'm going to call the school, just validate. I know that sounds really scary. It sounds really upsetting. A lot of kids, particularly with relational aggression, we hear kids say, but it's okay. I mean, I'm sure she'll stop doing it. So address the rationalizations. No, it's not okay. That's not what friends do. Friends don't treat each other like that. Confront the fear. Kids often have fear. Well, I didn't want to tell you because now this is going to happen. Now she's going to get worse. I like this. Fear is false evidence appearing real, so help your child to understand that those fears are not necessarily going to come true. Empower, so instead of jumping in and fixing it, which is so hard for parents not to do, your child already feels completely disempowered and helpless. So what can you do to build your child up? Say, okay, what have you tried? What do you think we should do? Do you have ideas? Do you want some of my ideas? Let's work out a plan together. Maybe the plan is to call the school. Maybe the plan is to bring the parents together. Maybe the plan is to, walk away from that friendship. Maybe the plan is to just say, I'm not okay with this. If we're going to be friends, this and this can't happen anymore. But help your child come up with those. Rather than just jumping into fix. That'll teach those skills and help them to feel strong and confident. Role play. Okay, so you want to have a conversation with that other kid. How is that going to go? Let's play it out here. And then once again, meet their basic needs. So are they feeling accepted, a sense of belonging and connected? If not, link them to a group outside of school. Put them in a dance class. Put them in a martial arts class. Put them in an art class, a music class. Connect them in some other way. With your school, so know your school's bullying prevention policy. You guys have some homework to do. Arrange a meeting for you and your child with the appropriate school personnel. Bring to the meeting in writing what happened. how it's impacting your child, work together as a team to develop a plan. You're going to want to decide if your child's in that meeting. And that will be up to your child, too. Do you want to be in this meeting? What are the pros and cons of being in this meeting? Find out how the problem will be addressed with the other child. And look at this as an opportunity for learning and growth for everyone involved, including the other child. These are children. These are children, so they still have a lot of learning to do. They're not criminals. But I do want to say that instead of punishment, the way to deal with an aggressor is accountability and discipline, because that teaches them the skills they need to use instead. So if you punish, they're not going to learn the skills they need. They're just going to keep doing it. They need to learn new skills. So you can look at that on your own. So teaching kids how to be upstanders. The easiest step a bystander can take in order to step up is to just don't participate, don't even, just walk away from it. So whether it's posts on Facebook or Buzz or an interaction at the lunch table, they can just get up and walk away. That's the easiest thing a kid can do, because without bystanders, bullying just dies down. If everyone just walks away from it, the bully's not going to continue. Next step, a little harder, talk to the target privately. So pull the target aside outside of the moment and just say, hey, I'm sorry that happened to you. How do you want to talk about it? I'm here if you want to talk about it. Ask the target to join you and your friends. So this is something we can teach kids. You know what? If you see someone being treated poorly, why don't you ask that kid to come and eat lunch with you or play with you? Tell an adult. So again, that in and out rule, it's not tattling if you're telling to get someone out of trouble. If you're concerned that someone's being hurt, tell an adult. Again, these are all fairly easy. Getting a little bit harder. You can distract the group or change the subject. So in the moment, if there's teasing going on or there's exclusion going on, you can say, hey, did you guys see that movie about, or whatever, just whatever silly way to distract the group from targeting that child. Ask the target to leave the group with you. So in the moment, if a child's being excluded, for example, your child, another child can go and say, hey, come with me, I want to show you something. Talk to the bullying child in private. This is harder. So not in the moment, and your child has to feel safe doing this, but they could say, you know what you're saying to Jane, I think it's mean. Or what you posted on Facebook, I think that's mean. And then the hardest step, again, and this doesn't even, to be an upstander, you don't even need to get to this top layer. But you can, in the moment, stand up to the bullying child. In the moment. Again, that's maybe the hardest thing. You need to make sure that there's some safety there with that, but even taking the first step or two is going to shift the behavior. Change happens at the parents' level. Like, parents enact such incredible change. I've seen parents mobilize and implement all kinds of wonderful programs at schools. It's going to come, it may come from you guys, but I bet it's coming at the school level. And if it's not, you guys can be empowered to ask for what you need. Mm-hmm.